Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Women Wednesday. I'm excited about our next guest. She is a full-time Overlander mom. They Overland as a family of 4, and I cannot wait to hear how they do this on a daily basis. Please welcome Christine Dehaven to the chat. Hi, Christine. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. So thank you so much for coming on. I know you and I have met through mutual friends.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about here in just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate you making the time to join me tonight.
Of course.
So to get started, tell us about you and about your family.
So we are Family Overland Adventure on Instagram. And my husband and I, 2 boys, 13 and 11, and our chocolate lab, Charlie, have been full-time overlanding it'll be a year in like 2 weeks. So it's kind of exciting. Yeah, we're coming up on our year, which is awesome. So yeah, we left Los Angeles, sold everything February of last year, and have been having adventures all ever since. So
that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So Valerie's already saying hi, and Jennifer's already saying hi. So welcome, ladies. So you guys drive primarily a Tundra?
Currently, we do. When we started the adventure, we started with a 72 Bronco that we had restored and had so much fun. That's my car. And we had been working on restoring it for about 2 years. And then right when we decided to leave, we're like, oh, we can't put this in storage. We just finished it. And so we did some modifications and used that. And we have a turtleback trailer as well. And so it's so light that the Bronco could tow it. And we did that for a summer. And then we put her in storage, and then we decided to build up the Tundra. So it's a 2016 Trd Pro Tundra.
Mm-hmm. So tell us about the Tundra, because the photo that I shared for the intro for this, it's just a mean looking truck. It's gorgeous.
It's definitely beefy. It is. So it is a 2016. Like I said, we have swapped out. We have some Icon suspension, stage 9, and then we did a 4-inch lift. Mm-hmm. We added a GFC V2 camper on the back, which has been awesome. And we have some Pelican cases on top with a front runner, with our front runner roof rack, which we actually had to custom cut to fit the GFC overhang over. But you got to make it work when you're full time. So it's awesome. We have some C4 bumpers on the front and back, which we love. Those we just added in September. And beyond that, we have, I was laughing because like the wheels and tires, I was like, okay, remind me, husband, what do we have? We have 17-inch. I think I'm 99% sure we have 17-inch wheels and 35-inch tires. So,
very nice.
Yeah. And he told me all the specs about the tires and wheels, but I don't remember them. But yeah.
So that's my husband. He's saying he loves the look of the GFC.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, you know what? So we added the GFC in September when we went from the Bronco to the truck. As a family of 4, we had a big iCamper. It was the only tent that could fit us all.
Right.
So we have the dog. All 4 of us need to sleep together. And then when you leave at the end of February, it's cold. You all welcome the cuddles, but eventually when it starts to get warm or you're on the road for a long time and y'all need space, you're like, okay. So over the summer when it was warm, the kids started sleeping in a ground tent more.
Okay.
And at that point we had moved to the truck, and we started looking, okay, well, if we're going to really travel with this truck, let's look at getting a second tent. And the GFC just made so much sense. It works for us. It opened up so much storage. And I am super happy. We went up there and had it installed. Those guys are so nice. It was really great.
That's awesome. Because so when we go out, it's me, my husband, and we have a 13-year-old son and a 9. She'll be 10 here in a couple months, daughter. And same thing, like we're not using an iCamper. We end up with a Tepui tent. That was big enough to fit the 4 of us.
Yes.
But yes, I get what you're saying. When it's hot, you don't want everyone on top of you. It's like, I want space. Don't touch me. We did Palo Duro Canyon back in July.
Okay.
don't go in July. It's hot down at the
Too
bottom
hot.
of the canyon. It was like 102
Oh,
and 85 overnight. There's no air blowing through there at all.
no way.
And I am not even going to respond to Lee right now. He's just, Those are, okay, those two on Tuesdays have their own show, Mike and Lee, and they like to torment me.
All right.
Yeah, it's great. But yes, so I understand what you're talking about.
Yes,
the additional space.
Yes, and the other thing that was super important to us was ease. So like the Tepui is amazing, but if you're traveling every day and setting up and breaking it down every day, it's a lot. So ease, size, and weight are, you buy once, cry once when it's your home on wheels versus we've tried to not, and it just never works out. So that's, we've had to buy once, cry once.
I get it.
Moving forward. Yeah.
So what made you guys go, so your turtleback trailer, you are actually selling that right now?
Yes, currently. So when we hit the road, we got a 2016 turtleback trailer, and it was so nice. So we started, before we did all of this, we had previously backpacked and camped and RV'd. We started with like a huge rig and we worked our way down. So we had, before we sold everything, we had a 20-foot trailer that was a toy hauler. And we knew we loved smaller because less things go wrong. There's less bits and pieces, and we really like being outside. And the bigger the rig, the less time you spend outside in your destination. So after deciding we wanted to do this, we're like, well, if we want to go full time, we know we've done big road trips, big as in like three weeks at a time. That was like our biggest road trip. And we knew we wanted to go farther than we had previously. So we looked at a lot of overland trailers, and the turtleback just made the most sense for us. So yes, we found this one used, and it was amazing. So we really pushed it to its limits. And then we decided to, as far as seeing like where we could take this thing. And so now we decided to get a new one and have some customization built for full-time use, so that we can store some things specific size-wise that will help us in our full-time journey.
Right. So what led you to doing this full-time?
It's hard. I think we've always tried to slow our life down. So my husband worked a very intense job for a while, and then we're always like, oh, well, maybe if we move to Portland, we'll slow down more. Maybe after being in Portland for a few years, we're like, still not slow enough for us. So then maybe we'll move back to LA and be close to family, and we'll slow down there. That didn't happen. So we decided, okay. And then COVID happened. And so we're like, okay, well, we don't want to be inside. House prices skyrocketed. And we're like, well, let's just sell our house and go do what we really want to do. So most of it was based off the desire to slow things down and finally wanting to control the narrative ourselves, because cost of living is super expensive. And sometimes all the things you have, we just finally, I think at COVID, looked at everything and we're like, no, we're good. So and we decided it's a lot, right?
No, I love it. It's something that I've tossed around the idea, and I know my husband would be 100% on board doing. I just don't know that I could do all four of us in my 4Runner all the time.
I know.
But another big thing is, how do you supplement your income while doing this full time?
Well, we're very lucky in the sense that my husband worked in his industry for a really long time. So he's still able to work remotely. He's freelance at this point. So we really tailor, like when we were down in Baja, he had a job that came up, and obviously there's not much connection there. So we hustled to one area that we knew had good service, and he worked there for a week. And then you move on. So, and honestly, this life gives us so much flexibility that if he needs to fly back for work, or if he needs to move locations to work, we can do that. And overhead is lower, so you don't have to work as frequently. So it all has been working out. We're basically doing this until we're done. We like check in with each other, check in with the kids, and be like, are you still happy? You still like this? Because time goes really fast. So,
it does.
Yeah.
So are the kids enjoying it? Are they enjoying being in the vehicle all the time and seeing different places, or?
Yes, and they're totally different kids, so different reasons. My youngest loves it, and he at school was way quieter, and so now he is out meeting everybody, doing everything. My oldest, being 13, he is having more alone, like quiet time. Like he'll go work on his computer, play with his friends, but then he'll come out and hang out with us. So I don't think anyone really regrets missing junior high, so I think it's all okay.
I know I don't miss it at all.
No.
And my son's currently started 7th grade, and I'm just worried about, what's happening up at the school, because it's a different time anymore.
Completely. And so I felt confident in the parental area. Like there's a lot of parental guilt sometimes, and you worry like what you're doing in general in life. Right. And so I knew missing 7th and 8th grade was not going to be a big deal. Like just knowing, because he's in 7th grade now. So I was like, oh, I know I got some cushion.
I love it. So you guys have actually just spent the last 3 months in Baja.
Yes.
Okay. So what are some must-sees in Baja? What was that like spending 3 months there?
Well, 3 months, it was, I felt like I got to know Baja in a way where I was like, oh, I can confidently say I know the map. I know, okay, there's the Pacific. These are the little towns along the way, and that I really got the essence of it. Are we going straight back? Yes, we are. We're getting our new trailer and driving straight back. So we really liked it.
I love it.
Yeah, no, there were definitely some great spots that we went to. I really think it depends what you want to do. Do you want to fish? Do you want to see wildlife? Do you want to be in warm water? Do you want to surf? Do you want to be in the middle of the desert and go see some, missions? There's so many things. So it depends what you want to do. I really enjoyed the warm water and like the snorkeling and the beach and everything. So I like the Sea of Cortez side more, but, and then anything, I felt like things really slowed down when you were in Baja Sur. So anything at lower half was really nice.
Okay. See, the warm water, the ocean, just hanging out on the beach. I'd just live there, be completely happy.
Right.
I just don't know that you get me to leave.
That's why I've had people say, are you ever coming back? And we did for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then we'll just go right back.
Just go right back. See, my husband, he's constantly harassing me about wanting to go. Yeah. So when you were there, you met our friends, Alex and Valerie.
Yes, we did.
And so they're hilarious. They are an amazing couple. And I know that they're going back in February. So it's in a few weeks. So I'm guessing you guys are meeting up again.
I hope it works out. I mean, there's no reason not to. Baja is way smaller than you think, considering there's only so many roads. So we really hope to see them.
So my husband's
already been talking about it.
That's awesome. So my husband's like, as soon as he found out that they were going to go back, he's been hounding me that we need to go along with them. I was like, we don't have the time that Alex gets off to go. Yeah. But he's bound and determined that we're going at some point. But I'll definitely want to snorkel with you guys. That would be a blast.
Oh my gosh.
Inflatable kayak.
Ash, they snorkeled with Ash, and that's my youngest, and he's still, I think he told that story the other day. Again, like those are some of his favorite memories, snorkeling with them, I swear.
I love it.
Yeah.
And yes, there will be a lot of Overland shenanigans with Alex and Valerie. It's just bound and determined to happen.
Yeah.
Hence why a shirt was created earlier this week that was announced. How often do you run into other people on the roads?
Like that we know, or
just in general, like that you end up making friends with, or?
You know what? That's the most surprising thing of this year, I feel like, is meeting people or like reaching out through Instagram and meeting friends and then meeting in real life. Like that was something completely unexpected. And I think the longer we're on the road, the more we do it, because we've met some people, they follow you, and then they're like, oh, so-and-so's in Baja too, you should meet up with them. Or, oh my gosh, I know so-and-so over here, you guys should connect. So I feel like the longer we're on the road, the more frequent it happens, if that makes sense. Right. So yeah, it's been great.
Donald's apparently wishing that he was in Baja right now, because we are getting hit with the winter storm here in Oklahoma, and it sucks.
Yes.
I'm already tired of listening to sleet hit the windows and the roof of the house. So what are some things that you need to know if you decide to cross the border? Across
the border?
Yes.
Let me see. Well, so crossing the border, I felt like was fairly easy. We did cross with a group.
Okay.
We went first because they're all, overlanding, but we were the only ones with trailers. And so they're like, they're going to want to search you. Just go through, take one for the team. And then they all got to go through without us. Seriously, we did. But I am a rule follower in certain aspects. So we stopped and got our FMM, which is like the equivalent of a visa, right? When you cross over. I heard they're cracking down a little bit more on that, but if you stay longer than 7, maybe 10 days, do your own Google research, you're required to have it. But a lot of people don't get it. In the past, they don't get it. And it's like $30, $50 a person. And they'll do it for a max of 6 months. That, and then to get proper car insurance for sure.
Right.
And then other things I would say is, oh goodness, I should have thought more about this. I really like having
this one on.
I know. Well, I really liked having a paper map. Google is not the end all be all in Baja. It is not. It has taken us to incorrect places. So we have a second app called maps.me that we kind of cross-reference, but in the end, the benchmark physical Baja maps have been the best. Right. At campsites, you ask everybody what their favorite spots are, and they write on your map, and you go and you check it out. Some people won't share their favorite spots because they're, that's the thing
spot,
too.
Right.
Yep. But beyond that, I think knowing that the people are super giving and excited because they thrive off tourism as well. Like they welcome you. So really just pick up after yourself. If you catch some fish and you have too much, give it to the person next to you, and just, be respectful.
I love it. So Jennifer's asking if you guys want a third kid, because she's going to travel for adoption.
You want to come a nanny?
She would probably do it. Don't put it past her.
I totally get it. If you got a ground tent, hardest part is you're going to have to fight for leg space in the back of the truck with my dog. She's a good cuddler, but I get it.
Jennifer would do it in a heartbeat, and she's now harassing me about the storm. I can't wait for it to transition over to the snow. I'll take the snow. Yes. I hate the ice.
I get that.
Other than that, let us know. We're good. AJ saying that he trying to talk his wife into doing Baja. AJ, we'll just plan a group trip. We'll all just go down there and do it. So Skip's wondering, did you have any problem finding quality fresh food when you were down there?
So it was a little different getting used to where to shop or how long things are shelf stable per se. We have a really big Snowmaster that has, I think it's an 85. So we have the fridge and the freezer. We hit up Costco in Cabo and filled it up with a lot of protein, but tomatoes, lettuce, all that stuff readily available. There are definitely stretches in between where you're like, I need to go to this grocery store because the next week might not be so good. So, when in doubt, make some bean and cheese burritos. You'll be good.
There you go. I love it.
Yeah.
So Valerie saying that she would totally cuddle with Charlie, your dog.
Oh yeah.
And Jennifer will she'll nanny. She says that she'll work for food.
She'll work for food. Okay. Yeah. Tacos. You work for tacos in Baja. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you said tacos. I'm in on tacos.
Yeah, I know, right?
Jeff's saying that we need to get a caravan together down to Baja.
Yeah, the caravan's great because you just knowing that you can like go into the sand and somebody else might be there to winch you out is
right.
It just takes any sort of worry in my mind out of like doing extra exploring because the sand and the silt there is no joke.
No, I love it. So AJ's wife, she has never overlanded. She has We've been trying to convince her for a while now.
Okay.
But she's just agreed to go to Bonfire in the Ozarks, which is coming up in April. So I'm super excited about that.
That's awesome.
We are going to corrupt her, and it's going to be fantastic.
Oh, and she'll be like, why did I wait so long? I love this. I can't believe it.
I agree 100%.
Yes.
So apparently Jennifer's already got 4 inches of snow. I'm still getting sleet. We'll break from Machaca.
Yes, Machaca burritos. They're super yummy.
Ben says he's in for Baja, so apparently we're gonna have like a group. Just go
I
down
know.
and
Sounds
join
like
you
your
guys.
group's pretty big.
I know. Bill's saying hi, and then his peanut butter jelly. I think he just likes to sing the song.
Oh no! Don't get that stuck in my head. No. Mm-mm.
It gets stuck in your head, and then you're done for like ever.
Oh yes, the Machaca's really good.
I don't even know what that is. I've never had it.
It is dried meat that they reconstitute and like you make it with eggs or whatever. It's really good.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Yes, I promise.
If only I could take a picture of her face and send it to you. AJ, message it to me. We'll take care of it. And got lots of snow.
Everyone's getting less snow.
I know, and I'm still getting ice. I'm over this. This is not fair.
No.
So with you guys being on the road, I know that you said you're not concerned about the kids missing middle school, but Correct. Are you doing any sort of education?
Yes. Yes, I'm homeschooling them and specifically had to pick curriculums that don't require a lot of internet connection because for the first couple months. So when we left, they were still in their school and they were still online with COVID. So that made it super easy because how many decisions do you have to make to leave? You're selling things, you're packing things, you're trying to set up your rig and get your setup right. And then school on top of it is too stressful. Right. So we left needing connection every day. We have to be online at a certain time. We need to have strong enough connection. No, I knew that was not going to work. So we do a charter school that homeschools. So I have quarterly meetings and somebody manages the funds. And so it's not, I'm still getting my child's money from the state for their education. And then we do school every day.
Okay.
So yeah.
So what's the biggest challenges with doing homeschool besides Wi-Fi connection?
The biggest challenge for me was that at the beginning, it was insanely overwhelming because you have all the curriculums in front of you and you have to learn how to drive every curriculum all at once because I'm like, oh, so science is 4 days a week and English is, so I had to give myself a lot of grace and say, okay, we're going to get through this, but I had to learn each curriculum. My husband and I had to look at all this and say, how do we make this work for us every day for each child? So, and then maybe about a month and a half, we ironed out some bumps. And then you have to also understand that even though at normal school, they have, 8-hour day or whatever hour day, we're allowed to break it up and see what works for them. Did we start math and have a hard time? Okay, let's move on to English. Oh, do we just need a break? Okay, let's go for a hike and then we'll come back. So those are the kind of things that we're still learning.
I love it. My son is ADD and he and I think completely different. So I applaud you for doing homeschool because when they were doing distance learning, even now when they still occasionally do it, I struggle to make sure that he's understanding everything that he's supposed to because to me it makes it's perfect sense. But I have to think about it a different way for him.
Yeah, because his brain works different. Yeah.
Right. So you're having to reteach yourself all this stuff that you
Oh,
haven't thought about in forever.
I'm dusting off some old file. I was like, wait, okay, so fractions, remainders. Okay, all of it. We got this. We got this.
To this day, I still hate fractions.
Oh,
so
we're in the thick of it with my 5th grader with fractions. I'm like, great, okay, we can do this. We can do it. But it's worth it. And so when things get hard, I have to remind myself, like, it's worth it for this reason.
Right.
But I look forward to summer way more than I ever did. Way more. So.
I can imagine you're like, I'm done. I am walking away from schooling.
Yeah.
So it's not only summer break for them, it's summer break for you too.
Big time. Yes.
That's fantastic. Okay. I'm in on the Korean street tacos this Saturday. If you're cooking them, either we come down to Oklahoma City or you're bringing them to Tulsa. So Valerie wants to know what's your favorite place in Baja. So she's going to make you tell
I know.
Your secret
okay,
spot.
So I don't know if we have a secret spot. So let's see. I really enjoyed the town of Los Brillas, which is on the Sea of Cortez side. It's about 2 hours north of Cabo. We ended up going there for what was supposed to be 5 days and stayed for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
The amenities were great. It was the time of year we were there, but we stayed at a campground, but it felt they were the nicest people. My dog got to roam free. They released baby turtles on the beach every morning because that egg hatchery was right there. And it was so nice. The weather was great. It's a really big kiteboarding town. And so when it wasn't good, like weather to kite, you could paddleboard. Okay. So I loved it there. And then I also really loved the Cabo Pulma area, it's like I don't know if I'm saying it right. I don't know if it's Cabo Pulma or Cabo Pulmo, like O or A, but that area is in between Brillas and Cabo, and it's like a national park type area, but you can camp there. Super washboardy, but it's the widest road ever, so you're not going to fall off the side like half of Baja. So
I love it. I appreciate the warning that like half the roads in Baja you feel like you're going to fall off of.
I hate passing on the big rig and you just grip. And so I'm constantly looking in the mirrors. It's yeah.
Please tell me you're not doing that and closing your eyes as you're passing them.
No, maybe. We're still good. We're good. We're here.
So Ben's saying his wife Taylor's getting 8 to 11 inches of snow. Holy crap. We're still on the snow kick. Jeff saying we'll hook it up. I'm assuming it's the caravan that he's talking about. We're just going to all go down to Mexico. Skip's getting 4 inches. Jennifer's so excited. I'm assuming she's talking about this nannying thing that she's going to nanny for you. That's why she's so excited.
You got to pass. Is your passport valid? That's required.
Right, a valid passport.
Yes. Oh, they dove with whale sharks. We did that in La Paz. We did. We had in La Paz we dove. The kids got to swim with whale sharks. You can see some video on our Instagram, and then we got to swim with seals, and the seals were like puppies. It was crazy. And there were so many fish out as well. So I would recommend that 100 times over. That was great. And if anyone goes to La Paz and needs a guy, he was amazing. It's hard to like know the right person to take you on those adventures sometimes.
Right.
And we were recommended by somebody else who used him. So I can give you his info. He was so great. I think we also tagged him in our video as well on Instagram. So you can always find that. Yes, the seals were everywhere.
So what's your advice for traveling with kids and a large dog?
So the advice with kids is that after you feed them breakfast and you pack up your camp to move for the day, you have snacks ready right when you get in the car again. Because the minute you fed them, you packed up, you get in the car and you're ready to go, they're hungry again already. So like have snacks ready. I'm not kidding. I make extra sandwiches. And then whenever you pull over because you have to pee, everybody has to go. I don't care. You're trying because we're only stopping once. So that, and then understanding that everybody needs their own space. So if my son has his headphones on because he wants to listen to a show, that is okay, because we're together a lot. And sometimes drive time is just head down and enjoy the quiet.
So do they spend a lot of time on their electronics when y'all are transitioning from spot to spot?
Sometimes. It just depends on what the drive is. Sometimes they're doing school because it's way, I don't want to travel on the weekends. It's crowded. The good spots are gone. So we want to travel midweek. So a lot of times, hey, get your math done, get this done while we're going to the spot. And then when we get there, we can enjoy the setup and enjoy dinner and enjoy like the sunset and things like that.
Right. Valerie's saying that Alex has the same rule for her. You always keep snacks nearby so she's hungry.
Yes.
Let's say we'll drive, to Oklahoma City, which is about an hour and a half. And we will literally pack snacks for the kids just as a safety precaution. So I understand what you're talking about. I'm like, you guys just had a huge breakfast. And within 30 minutes, because you're bored, you're hungry again.
Oh, yeah. Yes. That. And then we carry, we have an extra jerry can on top of our rig with water. So we don't have to open up the turtleback to get water out in the middle, because everybody has their own water bottle. So, and even the dog, so when you pull over to pee, everybody fills up their water bottle from the roof, and then we're good. So,
So does having Charlie with you, does that make it more challenging, or is it just, you just have another kid with you?
It makes it challenging at like national parks.
Okay.
Because dogs really aren't allowed there. And then it makes it challenging when, I think that's really about it. Or like if you're not going out to eat really if the weather's bad or if it's hot, because you're not leaving your dog in the car. Beyond that, having her, or like, let's say it's raining, you need a hotel for the night, they have to take dogs. That's it.
Right.
So in general, I would say she's our security system. She's a huge part of the family. I mean, the perks outweigh the hard parts for sure.
Love it. So AJ wants to know, do you guys bring dude wipes on your trips?
Yes. And baby wipes and all the wipes. Especially it depends, because in Baja, we're by the water so much, you just pop in the water. But yes, dude wipes, we still carry those.
AJ's he speaks about dude wipes often. Like every show, he brings up dude wipes, which is why he gets doing the face on it. So it's hilarious that you're like, yeah, I use them.
Well, but I had some guys introduce me to them. I didn't just say, oh, maybe I should try these. I had some guys that were camping. They're like, no, these are amazing. You need to get them. And I'm like, okay, I can spring for the $4.
Right. Okay. But we've been using baby wipes this entire time and never heard of dude wipes.
No.
So Alex thought there was beer in the extra jerry can on top of the truck.
I know. It's whiskey. Don't tell anyone.
It's whiskey. Okay, it's water-laced whiskey. Got it.
Yep.
Jeff is saying that you got to fight the alligator for the beer. Just, oh my gosh. This shirt is just a whole thing.
I love it.
So what kind of safety precautions do you have in place for when you guys are traveling, especially places, going across the border and everything like that?
So obviously, when we are in the United States, we do have a gun with us and we have our dog, and then we have bear spray, other things. But when you're in Baja, you obviously can't bring that. So we have our dog. And then as far as like safety precautions, I think the biggest thing is your common sense. We've all been to spots where you're like, something doesn't feel right.
Right.
You move. And then on top of that, we have our InReach, which has everybody's number pre-programmed, whatever. So we will tell somebody where we are. Specifically, if we're off grid for a few days, we check in every single day. So they know. And then there are some people that are able to track us on our phones. So if we have connection, they know where we are. And then also getting a really good roster of people in the US who we were pretty lucky, because we know some people who have worked on the Baja 1000 and know Baja really, really well, grew up down there. So, did you blow a tire? Do you need some weird piece for your truck? you can hit them up and they can direct you to somebody, or they can connect you wherever you are. Like those were key for me to feel safe.
Right.
That I'm not going to be just looking for somebody to help me fix my vehicle, but someone can say, oh no, this person's good. This person's verified. They're going to help you. So that was really nice.
That's awesome that you had those sort of connections already in place before you guys got down there.
Yeah.
So you said your next on your trip list, I'm assuming, is Baja, since you said you're going back. After Baja, what's next?
Okay. Well, so we're riding out the weather, because here's the other perk of full-time. The weather's good, you stay. If it's bad, you move on.
Right.
Whereas you're like, I took this time off work. I'm going, I don't care, because this is where I want to go.
Right.
So right now it's cold in the mornings in Arizona and California and all these places. So we're going to stay down in Baja. And then we really wanted to do Alaska, but the borders were closed last summer. I know a lot of people ferried over, but I didn't want to skip the Yukon. So given no travel restrictions, we will be working our way up the coast in May and hope to cross June 1 into Yukon, and then get out by September before it gets really bad. So maybe 3 months up there. Okay. And then after that, for some reason, we still haven't explored Colorado a ton. I think probably because we spent time getting our bumpers and GFC installed during the fall, which kind of took us out of Colorado. So when we come back, I really want to do Colorado, and that gets me through October. So that's all I know.
Well, make sure when you go to Colorado, you go check out the really, really bad, janky alligator farm.
I know. That's the only reason I want to go. It's the only reason. That's it. Oh yeah. Evan says that good karma helps down. That's what I'm saying. In Baja, if you help other people, like you see somebody on the side of the road and you pull over, they need a little gas, you help them out, it all comes back. So definitely put in our good karma points down in Baja.
I love it. Jeff's sitting here saying running from the weather is a good reason to overland full time.
It is.
Definitely. I mean, I would probably, if we were overlanding full time, I'd probably be in Arizona right now. Yeah. We've got family there. So Jeff was talking about mine and his favorite taco restaurant there earlier today. I'm surprised
he's not screaming. Phoenix? Where is it?
It's in Chandler, so it's in the Phoenix Valley.
That's where we're staying.
Yes.
I need to know where I can get good tacos now.
So this place is called Juan Jaime's.
Okay.
It's off of Chandler Boulevard, like just down from the Chandler Mall. On the other side of the 101 that's right there? It's been a while.
Yeah. The freeway. We'll just call
whatever
it freeway.
That big freeway, where there's always an accident. I promise there's always an accident on that highway somewhere. So just down from Chandler Mall, there's a little restaurant and a shopping center called Juan Jaime's. Best freaking street tacos we've ever had. We went there all the time when we lived in the Phoenix Valley.
Okay.
So yes.
Well, we will be back there this weekend, so I will go get some tacos.
Okay. Then message me and tell me how you like them.
Yeah.
Or if they suck at this point, because it's been years.
I'll blame you.
That's right. Alex is saying it sucks. Don't do it. Don't do the alligator farm. Alex, it's a thing now that if anyone goes to Colorado, they got to go check out this alligator farm. Maybe if enough people go, they can fix the fences. Who knows? So AJ's asking, do they still do a lot of trading in Baja?
What type of trading? I'm not unsure.
Okay. Did you ever experience that?
No, I mean, you might hear, maybe a boat or two at night go by, but you stay out of other people's business.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It does.
And nobody wants to do it. No one wants any gringo attention. If anything is,
right.
No one wants to get in our way, and we don't want to get in anyone's way. So it's mutually exclusive.
I love it. See, Valerie's still going on about the alligator farm. It's a requirement.
Well, Val, if you take me, I'll go. No.
You're just gonna have to do it. It is completely just janky, but it's highly entertaining. And like I said, the kids can throw, I think it's dog food that they
Oh,
can
I'm
throw at
sure
the
it is.
alligators for for them to eat.
Yes,
And
we've only done alligators in New Orleans, and I don't think the kids were with us then. So
okay.
that was that, and that's when we fed them marshmallows. So that was janky too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer said that they did one in Florida. It was super disappointing. Alex calls it the Tiger King of reptiles, which is
That's
the
exactly
best.
how I envision it.
I mean, it is true so we took my kids to Wynniewood before the whole Joe Exotic arrest fiasco.
Yeah.
It was a horrible zoo. But the kids thought it was great because they got to play with a lemur and a tiger. I think what tiger cub was what we played with. So yes. Oh, now my husband's giving you the address to Juan Jaime's.
Oh, perfect. I got to screenshot this. Thank you, sir. Screenshot.
Perfect.
Oh, I see that. All right.
Val's, heck yeah.
Perfect. Done. Oh, so trading stuff. I see. Okay. Families would make stuff and trade stuff we brought. Oh, no, not really. I mean, if anything, it's more like stickers. And I don't like kids might want stickers. We didn't run into any trading, really. Sadly, that sounds super fun, though. Doesn't it? It does.
I mean, it sounds great to me, but Alex and Valerie did say that stickers were huge. So they had they didn't really have a whole lot of stickers, but that a lot of people asked for them.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I saw that your husband on Instagram started a new project. What's this project?
So he was working on some customizations to our new trailer. I think he is working on a drawer system to go through the pass-through. Basically, Tetris is the name of the game. And so we thought about in our current setup, originally we had some additional storage on the outside of the 2016 turtleback trailer we were using. Mm-hmm. We removed that, and then we're trying to streamline it so we don't need to add it because it was an extra step that was not necessarily helpful in our daily life. So these drawers that he was doing hopefully will give us, like, my bread and my chips won't get crunched, hopefully. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that simple. It's that simple, but it's things that we need. So he's been working on that, which I'm so grateful that, he likes to do that stuff because very helpful in the long run.
I love it. So what's so funny is you talk about your bread getting squished. There was one camping trip that we did before we had our drawer system. And I don't know how my husband wedged a loaf of bread in between bags, but he had posted a photo and somebody was giving us a hard time and telling us to go to Walmart and buy, I want to say it was like a pasta container.
Oh, like a bread saver kind of thing?
Yes, but like it was
I didn't think about it.
And you could put a loaf of bread in it and that way it doesn't get squished.
Oh, that's smart.
I was like, well, damn, why didn't we think of that sooner? But
that might need to be on the list.
So yes, go check it out. Like, go around the grocery store and put a loaf of bread in the containers and see which one fits. But surprisingly, our loaf of bread made it through this trip without the container. But
it's a struggle to make sure that I mean, the chips. I'm not going to buy a bag of chips and then have crumbs when I get there. So
right.
It's hard.
I get it. So what kind of trailer are you guys getting now?
We are getting just a brand new one from Turtleback. So we're currently selling our old one, which we still love. The biggest difference is just we're doing some modifications for full-time storage use. That's the only difference, really. So hopefully we will have that maybe by Monday. We've been in the works. I don't know what their lead time is currently, but it's been in the works for a while. It's the only reason we came back from Baja, honestly.
Was to pick up the trailer.
But, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would say I've eyeballed you guys, the one that you guys have for sale. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Thanks. I love it.
I was like, man, if I could swing it, I'd be driving to Chandler right now to pick it up.
It's fun.
It's gorgeous. I was like, we can stay with family and visit with them for a little bit and then pick up the trailer and bring it back.
Oh yeah. I know it's got everything because we have it's got I don't need to tell you on it, but it's got a red arc system already. It's got lithium batteries. It's got solar. It's good.
Yeah. See, now you're just trying to convince me I need it.
I know.
So my husband is obsessed with your classic Bronco.
Oh my
to know
gosh.
more about
I
it.
am too. Okay, so the Bronco is, I drove a minivan for 10 plus years. And instead of saying, okay, well, the kids don't need a minivan anymore, I don't want a minivan anymore, I'm just going to get whatever. My husband's like, well, what car would you really want? And when I said a Bronco, he was like, an old Bronco? What? Okay. And so he worked so hard to like sneakily find a body, like a good donor body, for years. And this was before they even announced that the old Bronco would be re-released. So we found it. I should share what it used to look like. It was like a green monster truck, legit green monster truck with this air intake valve. And then we bought it and then started working on it. We did a lot of work at home on it, which was great. My husband is super mechanically inclined, so he taught me a lot, and I loved working on it with the kids. The kids learned to weld on it. We learned wiring, and we lined the interior. We did a whole bunch of stuff on it. And then we swapped out the engine. We put a Coyote in there, so that's why it was able to tow the trailer.
Right.
So, yeah, I just love that thing. I miss it. It's currently in storage. So whenever we get to go visit it, like I take it out and drive it around for a bit, but I'm happy knowing that I get to drive it at some point. So I love that car.
See, I like the classic ones compared to the new ones, but I am not a fan of the new. My husband thinks I'm crazy for it, but I would rather him get a classic one versus the new one. But at the same time, I also know he had a classic one at one point and he flipped it. Yes, he flipped it and ruined it. You have my permission to go ahead and yell at him.
The best part about driving that car is when you're like at the gas station or at the store and people come up and they're like, I used to have a Bronco, and you hear so many amazing stories, and like people, they're like so emotionally attached to their cars in general that like when I'm sure like when you drive your car, people come up and they're like, oh, I have the same one. I love it. It's so cool. Tell me about what you did. It's just, I love it. It's just really interesting.
What's funny is I don't have a lot of people come up to me and ask me because everyone thinks that my 4Runner is my husband's, not mine. So I had to put, my Instagram name, I put it in rose gold stickers on it, and it's got, it says Okie Girl. I was like, it's rose gold. There's no, he's not going to drive around.
I know.
It still happens.
It's okay.
So AJ's asking again, how do you guys finance your trips to live?
Well, so basically we work intermittently. So my husband's able to freelance a lot, and I'm a photographer as well. So we will pick up jobs. So far, everything has worked out really well. The minute it doesn't, maybe we'll stop, or maybe we decide taking a full-time job is the right thing for our family. But right now, overhead is low. And so jobs can be every couple months, or it's nice. It's remote work, basically, and that's the question everybody asks, because a lot of people want to do this, but financially it's very hard. I understand.
I saw someone on Facebook earlier was asking another full-time overlander, like, how do you survive income-wise? What are you getting by? But another question they asked that I really never thought of is, what do you do about health insurance?
That is hard. That's super hard because it's super expensive, right? So we use a health share, which is half of the cost. We had used it previously, so I didn't feel like it was a big departure. So I felt like I understood it. But a health share is kind of, you can do your research on it, but most of them have religious affiliations. So sometimes they may not cover certain things based on what religion it is. But in general, we pay, they pay, and then whatever isn't covered, we pay out of pocket. So in the long run, let's say I'm paying $500 a month for health insurance versus $1,500 if I was going through an HMO. The price difference per month is still enough for us to be okay and pay a bigger sum out of pocket for some things, because it's still not the exact same amount all the time. Does that make sense?
No, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of people appreciate it, because that is one thing that you just don't know what to do with if you're only working remotely.
Yes.
So Val's asking, what was your biggest surprise when you went full time?
That I didn't realize that I would be so reliant on like not I missed having an address to ship things to. Legitimately, I did, because you're used to, I mean, all your conveniences.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon in 2 days in general,
Yes.
like, oh, I normally get this stuff online and blah, blah, blah. Now I'm like, shoot, I have to think really far ahead, or we need to like, how many things do you have automatically delivered? So
Right.
that was the one thing I was like, I didn't realize that would be so hard. I thought it wouldn't be a big deal, but I guess I was more used to those conveniences than I originally thought.
No, see, that would be me having a hard time letting go of my Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
What do I do? I don't want to have to sit there and go find it in a store or figure out how I'm going to go get it once it is shipped. So my husband's talking about, he had a 74 Bronco. That's the one that he flipped. Oh. He'll have to tell you that story sometime, because I just shake my head and walk away. So AJ saying, of course, there's good doctors down in Mexico. They're super
completely
cheap.
Yeah, and so is the vets. So like we had to take our dog to the vet.
Okay.
It's completely affordable. And if you're on medication, let's see, anything from like cholesterol to migraine medicine, most of it you can find down there. So like if you're down there for an extended period of time, you just have to know what to ask for in the pharmacy. So yeah, that was totally fine down there.
I love it. So one of my questions that I always ask is your favorite camp food, but I think we already talked about tacos. It's probably
it. That could be it. Yes, favorite camp food. It's hard because since we are like full time, sometimes I'm just like, really, is this what we're having again? Because you have this same. I need to revamp our normal menu. But my favorite camp food is anything that my husband cooks straight over the fire, because like we don't have a grill. We have a scuttle, which is amazing. But like sometimes just cooking things straight over the flame is so good. So whenever he does that, I love it.
Never thought about what we would need to do to say that.
Yeah.
It's great that you guys have a dog to answer all these questions.
Yeah. Well, and she didn't necessarily get hurt. There were other dogs at this campsite, and one of them had an eye infection, and it was contagious. It's like pink eye, you know?
Right.
So we had to go and have her get cream for her eye.
Oh my goodness.
So, I mean, that's best case scenario. We've seen, other dogs get bit and things like that. So there's definitely, but the dog situation down there, there's always vets, because a lot of people go down there and then come back with a dog, because there's so many that are so cute and so friendly. So there's a lot of vets that will help you with that process too.
So Valerie's wanting to know, what was the birthday dessert for the boys? Unique.
I'm not sure I understand.
Did I not make that for you guys I probably didn't, because I didn't have the supplies. We make donuts.
Okay.
So use canned biscuit dough, which is normally like a biscuit's pretty thick. I peel it in half, use the lid to like juice or whatever to punch out the hole in the middle, and you fry up some donuts.
That's awesome.
Yeah. You got to do something special. That's the hardest part. As a parent, trying to make certain things feel just as special when you have limited supplies or you're out a little bit farther. So let's say you've been on the road for months and you didn't get to go back and supply for your son's birthday. How do you make him feel special?
Right. No, I love it. I'm going to have to try this.
Oh, the donuts are awesome. We love them.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah, some cinnamon and sugar on top, easy. And or Nutella in them. Nutella is our family, that's a staple in our pantry. So
okay. So another question would be, what is your must-have piece of gear or camping item? Something that you just have to have regardless whether you're full-time or.
It's hard. I feel like considering all of our stuff is in here, like when we took everything out of our trailer and laid it in the garage to like clean out the rig, I was like, this is all of it. Wow. Like, this is the easiest moving day ever. It's all packed up.
I love it.
Yeah. I personally, I'm such a nerd in the sense of like, I really like organization. So like if I could get the right bag for because we all have one duffel bag, or my husband built out in one of the shelves, a perfect drawer system. And when you only have so much room, knowing where everything is
right
is super important, because you only have one of it. And if you lose it, we're not able to run to the store and replace it right away. So like,
Right.
oh, on the trail, we left our toilet there once by mistake. That was really hard.
Did you go back and get it?
We couldn't. It was a one-way trail. And so someone got a bonus later, but things like that was really hard. Now we have a hard, fast rule that doesn't get left far away, but still. But let's see, the one piece of gear.
Apparently a potty.
Yes, because we went without one for a while. That was a little rough. My 10-year-old trying to figure out how to take care of business without a potty. That's always fun. Right. Shovel required.
Okay.
No, we added a paddle board, and then we also added the dual freezer or the fridge with the freezer. And that has made things so much easier. Before, I didn't realize how much I needed the freezer until we had it, only for the longevity of our trips. With a fridge by itself, I could do it, but my steak had to be used within a certain number of days.
Right.
Dude wipes, my bad. What was I thinking?
Right. AJ's all about the dude wipes.
So I think the fridge and freezer was huge. I'm able to make ice because you don't know you want ice in your drink until you don't have it. And so I don't know. Sorry, I gave you 4 answers. There you go.
No, I like it. I mean, it's great seeing what other people, I've had one person who, one guest, hers was a blanket. She had to have a blanket.
Oh, yes.
Some people they have to have a fan of some sort. It's interesting to see what's important to everybody. It's always something different.
It's part of the reason why I love camping with people too, is because everyone has a different way to do things. And we've learned so many tricks or like other ways of storing things, or even how to utilize things that we didn't even know.
Right.
And it's awesome.
Well, now you have to go find a bread container.
I know. Yes. Don't worry. When we're putting all this stuff in the new trailer, I'm going to have to sort it all out. So I'll be at Target, I'll be at Walmart, all the places getting the new stuff, trying to sort it.
No, I love it. That's another reason why I asked the camp food question is sometimes someone else has got a great idea that you never thought of that
I know
you could cook and share recipes with. So my last big question for you is, what's your biggest challenge being a woman in this community?
I think the biggest challenge being a woman is sometimes probably being overlooked a lot,
right.
or being the odd man out sometimes. I think if you surround yourself with the right people, you're never really the odd man out. But we've been to, like sometimes we'll go to car shows or things and people just don't talk to you.
Right.
And you're like, no, I'm a person too. So P.S. this is my Bronco. But my husband's always very great about pointing those things out. But I feel like sometimes that's it. Or underestimating, when I'm driving the truck and I'm by myself, people are like, So it's different.
She said, "Man."
Like, did she? I don't know.
No, I agree with you. It's hard. It's like I was saying, people tend to think that my forerunner is my husband's. So they always go ask him questions, but he is really good about, he'll answer him and he's like, or he'll just go, I don't know, that's my wife's truck. You'll have to go talk to her. And
I love that.
It's fantastic. I love that he does it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's saying you said odd man, odd woman, not woman.
Oh, got it. Mm-hmm.
I didn't catch it either.
All right.
Good job, AJ. Because I missed it entirely. But no, I like the perspective from another woman's perspective on, what you feel happens that most people don't always notice or don't see. So it's good to go out there. So what's some advice for someone who's wanting to get started overlanding full time? I think I asked that one already.
No, well, in full time, let's see. Some advice would be to take some longer trips and then also maybe slow down a little bit on the travels, because as much fun as the process is getting to the destination, full time, you're able to this took us a while to figure out too. You're able to slow down and maybe take the road that is, you're not sure if it's going to work out because you have time to figure it out. So maybe take like a couple weeks. See, you don't have to go down to Baja. You can just go. It doesn't have to be far. Honestly, some of the best trips aren't super hard to get to. It's just a matter of spending a longer amount of time out of reach. Like, see if you can go 5 days and see how weird it is when you drive back in and you're like, oh, wow, we're back. So I would just go for longer stints of out in the wilderness versus the spot, trail.
And so that's what we did in July last year. Was a spot. Like every day was something different.
And it's so fun, but
it's a blast. It was
exhausting
amazing
too.
Yes. I think my kids hated me because we didn't let them take electronics that entire week, but we did it. Our plan is we're talking about doing a 2-week trip where we can slow it down and explore a little bit more and allowing time. And AJ is saying that he thinks one of his wife's fears is being a girl and being left out or bored. That is definitely a thing.
Yeah. Well, and I felt like, I guess I didn't realize how much my husband needed me or I needed him in the overlanding traversing until he's like, babe, can you look out? Can you tell me where I am? Can you help me back up? Can you help me do this? I'm not just a passenger. I'm the navigator. Like sometimes the person sitting next to you is doing more work than the person driving.
Yes.
So, and I also am not as experienced in spotting. So I would prefer to drive and have my husband spot me. But then there's something empowering about knowing that you just drove over that.
Right.
So, and you're a team. And so I could see how you might think that you might be left out, but it's required. You have to be a team to really successfully overland. So
yes, I agree. Primarily I'm the driver. My husband's a spotter. And so like he runs the guided navigation system. He runs Google Maps. He does all of this stuff. There's times where he's running the cons for me just because I'm too busy watching what's coming up next.
The road. Yes.
Totally. Like my husband's saying, with the right group, everyone is family and included.
Completely.
But, with him being, I'm only 5'1", so I'm super short. Being in the forerunner, if you're going up a hill, any sort of incline, there's chances where I really can't see what's going on. So my husband being 6'3", it's great having him as a spotter. I would much rather him be the spotter because he can get his arms up high enough, or he is just tall enough where I can see him. If it was me, he'd be going completely blind. It wouldn't happen.
You'd just be using the radio and you'd be like, passenger, blah, 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 and that's
yes, exactly. Make sure you have that radio outside for the when you're spotting.
And that is a big surprise. Like I feel like when you get through some of those trails, when you get there, you're like, oh my God, we did that. Wow. Yes. Okay. All right.
You have that badass moment like right afterwards. You're like, I just did it. I'm a badass now.
I know.
It's nice. It's hysterical, but yes, I agree. Well, Christine, thank you so much for coming on tonight. I hope you've had a blast.
Yes, of course.
You got lots of questions, but give everybody your Instagram.
It is
your
Family
social media
Overland.
Handles.
Yes, Family Overland Adventure on Instagram, and you guys can DM, ask any questions you want. We are an open book. I mean, that's how we learned all our stuff too. So, and then we do have a YouTube channel. We don't really post as much because we really focus on Instagram and the videos on there. And I believe that's still Family Overland Adventure. So yeah. Well, no, we used to be Bronco Overland Adventure.
Okay.
So not to confuse anyone. That's why I was like, did we change that? I'm not sure. But Family Overland Adventure on Instagram, we will be able to answer all the questions. So yeah.
Perfect. Well, everyone go follow her. Thank you guys all for joining us tonight. We will be back next week. Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.